University of South Asia. For more details, www.usa.edu.
Welcome, dear students, to our next topic in content marketing, omni-channel strategy for content. This lecture will highlight the 5 C's of an omni-channel strategy to help maximize returns from impactful content. Producing impactful content and pushing it out onto multiple channels isn't enough. It's also very important to have a clear, comprehensive, and rational strategy in place to amplify the content effectiveness and to measure returns. This is to ensure that your customer's experience across different channels is seamless, which means without any issues. First, let's begin by revisiting the definition of content marketing. If you remember, it is a strategic marketing approach that is focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience and ultimately to drive profitable customer action. Today's lecture focuses on the distribution or channel element of the strategy. Remember, in our lecture on content strategy, we discussed how to select channel for content. That included planning how to evaluate the best channel for your message, whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Pinterest, or your website. Should it be content for internal or external consumption? To get the most eyes on your content, you need to identify the right distribution channels. Where are we going to reach people? That's an important question to be answered. How will we reach them? Where are their communities? When are the best times to reach them on those platforms they spend time on? What will our mix of channels be? Will it be owned, earned, or paid? So for your convenience, how do we define channels? I want to talk about that. Simply put, channels are how your customers interact with your brand. Some of the more common channels include your website, social media platforms, brand blogs, SMS, mobile apps, email marketing. Not only is the channel important, but so are the devices that customers use to access these channels. It's important to understand all of this. Building on that, today's lecture on omni-channel strategy for content will compare omni-channel versus multi-channel strategy, and then we will learn about how to apply the 5 C's of an omni-channel strategy for success. The basic idea behind omni-channel strategies are the customer's evolving habits that are related to gathering information, comparing products and alternatives, deciding and then sharing post experiences with others. Today's customer can be shopping online from a desktop or mobile device, or even by telephone, or in a bricks and mortar store, but expects the same experiences to be seamless through these different channels. So what is omni-channel content marketing? As the name implies, it's an approach to content marketing which takes multiple channels into account. From your social media and your website to your in-store experiences. Now let's also spend a few minutes in understanding the ideology behind omni-channel approach. Well, taking an omni-channel approach to content and digital marketing ensures that every single piece of content that you produce, publish, and you promote, they are part of a wider strategy. This is essential because of the modern consumers' buying behavior that has really evolved. There are so many means today, from first hearing about a company through your favorite Instagrammer's post to then, Googling the website, seeing an advertisement while watching some other video on YouTube, visiting a physical store, and then tweeting about the purchase afterwards. Did they like it? Did they not like it? Today's buyers interact and connect with brands at a number of different points and in a number of places. Those are both digital and physical. And that's where the word omni comes from. It can be anywhere between as well. Like, we've seen digital screens being displayed that display social content and live events. Consistency of messaging across all of these channels is essential for businesses, especially if they are keen to make the buying journey as effective as possible. A consistent tone, style, and strategy ensures that messaging is clear. Also, every piece of content adds to the brand's image, as a result, strengthening, not diluting it. That's our goal, to strengthen it. Consistency means keeping quality and keeping consumers engaged every time that they connect with a brand. Apple does this exceptionally well. All their channels would emit a familiar, unified feeling that makes Apple so easily recognizable, even if their ads were not so obviously branded. Potential customers can also take a trip to the Apple Store to test out what they have researched, and they can even get help from the people behind their branded Genius Bar. All of these work together to create a seamless, engaging experience for the user. Again, the example of Apple is really important for us to understand. This was through thoughtful deliberation. All their channels emit a familiar, unified feeling that makes Apple recognizable, even if their ads don't have Apple thrown in your face. Potential customers can also further go to a store, take online help, email them, have instant people reply to them. All of these different channels work together through planned coordination to create a seamless, engaging experience. Another powerhouse in omni-channel strategy is a brand familiar to all of us from childhood, Disney, the omni-channel marketing giant. No matter where or how you engage with Disney, be it at a theme park, in a store, on their website, or elsewhere, the experience is always consistent. Everywhere you see, you're greeted with the uniform branding, messaging, and content. From Mickey Mouse ears to your experience at a Disney property, every interaction is completely integrated. While your Disney app helps you strategically navigate the parks, check on wait times, and make FastPass reservations, your wristband, also known as their Magic Band, gets you into your hotel room, allows you to purchase food, and even gives you access to photos that have been taken throughout the day. This integration did not happen organically or by chance, but was a deliberate effort by the management for a seamless experience. Finally, another example of a company that dominates in this category is Netflix, something we've discussed about earlier. Netflix creates a truly personalized, unique experience for each of their 195.15 million subscribers as of the third quarter of 2020. And what's more, they managed to do it across a range of devices and customer touchpoints. Whether a subscriber logs in from their laptop, phone, TV, or even gaming console, they are greeted with customized movie and TV show recommendations. Netflix even elevates the omni-channel integration experience one step further by sending personalized emails containing content recommendations right to their subscribers' inbox, where they can click them to view, share, or download it instantly, offering a great deal of convenience and an excellent brand experience. Another term that you will hear when deciding channels for your content is multi-channel. Well, what does multi-channel marketing mean? Multi-channel marketing speaks to the tactics of reaching customers on multiple channels. Yes, that's exactly what it means. It focuses on letting customers choose how to interact with you, whether through the website, WhatsApp, chat, app, phone, store clerk, or other. Is this the same as an omni-channel strategy? No, it is not. So you must be wondering, what's the difference between omni-channel and multi-channel, or also known as cross-channel strategy? To put simply, omni-channel is a bigger category than multi-channel. Remember, all omni-channel experiences will use multiple channels, but not all multiple channel experiences are omni-channel. Make sense? This is important to note. You can have an amazing mobile marketing, engaging social media campaigns, and a well-designed website that's included in your multi-channel strategy to reach customers. But if they don't work together, it's not omni-channel. An omni-channel experience accounts for each platform and other devices that a customer will use to interact with the company. That knowledge is then used to deliver them an integrated experience. Companies using this technique align their messaging, goals, objectives, and design across each channel and device. Omni-channel is about understanding and optimizing for the entire journey of the buyer across all channels. Put simply, as can be seen, multi-channel is not integrated, while omni-channel is integrated, with channels that are available to consumers being connected for a seamless experience for the user, as well as a common brand experience. So the key takeaway for you is that omni-channel is about understanding and optimizing for the entire journey across all channels. Creating an omni-channel content marketing strategy, it ensures that your customers can start the buyer's journey using one device and marketing channel and complete this in another. Omni-channel marketing might mean that you get to use different channels cohesively. But a word of caution, it doesn't mean that you should use every single channel that's available to your brand. It all depends on where your audience can be researched and reached. Remember, each marketing channel has its preferred content type and format, and content creation takes a lot of time and effort to do. So if you try to reach and create content for every one of the channels you can think of, you're going to be really stretching your resources. And in the process, either your quantity or the quality will suffer. Knowing your channels will also help you perform an effective content audit afterwards. You can see your top performing marketing channels, then repurpose or recreate content from other channels to save time and resources. A model exists to guide your efforts in developing a strong omni-channel strategy. This is the 5 C's model. The C's stand for consistency, conversation, channel selection, calibration, and conversion. Now we will look at each C individually. The first C, which is consistency, means that when marketing on multiple channels is taking place by your brand, you want to keep your branding consistent or same. You want people to have the same great customer experience when they visit your website that they have when they visit your social media profile or talk to any one of your customer reps in the store or even through WhatsApp. That is where content strategy comes in. Content strategy is the glue that holds it all together. When your customer visits your website, they will encounter the same tone, ideas, facts, colors that they would on your Facebook profile or on your blog. Consistency is key. Having a documented plan allows for well-coordinated monitoring of the various platforms. By observing how platforms and how campaigns perform, it will be easier to track which ones work on which platforms and which don't, so corrective action can take place. And optimization of content requires tracking performance of content across portals, websites, microsites, and even communities. The second C is conversation. This requires a brand to be engaged effortlessly in real time with customers, reducing barriers in communication across all channels the brand operates in. After all, nobody likes slow-moving traffic. If a customer comes to you with a query or a point of interest on Facebook or on chat, your response to them should be quick, effortless, and the same. The third C is channel selection and optimization. The right content in the right formats on the right mediums. This is what it's all about. This helps maintain a good interactive experience and prompts customers to engage with your services. You need to utilize your omni-channel strategy to really optimize the content that's being presented at every stage of your customer's buying cycle. This content ranges from blog posts, videos, case studies, analysis reports, events, and testimonials to surveys and feedback forms, depending on the stage of the business of the buying cycle. The fourth C is calibration, which is essentially, if you think about it, calculating the return on investment, measuring it, and understanding how metrics differ from a channel to another channel. They're not the same. It's important to determine the KPIs for each element of content and what the expected impacts baseline will be. If you do not establish this upfront, then the return of investment of a campaign or content unit becomes impossible to measure after publication. If it's not possible to directly measure the results of a unit of content, it's very possible to use a proxy to measure it. Let's look at possible KPIs for store-related and digital content strategy KPIs as a reference for you. For store-related content strategy and campaign, two key performance indicators are available. These include store growth and sales and whether the campaign led to more walk-ins in the period of time that the campaign was on. For digital-related campaigns, the key performance indicators I can think of are the number of leads generated, or the increase in orders, or even an increase in app or website visitors. The last C is conversion. After putting in a lot of time, money, and effort into designing the ideal omni-channel content strategy, it's important to capture everything that results from it. By everything, I mean all the different data that's available to you. This can include data about visitors' time that they spend on your content. It can also include capturing consent to use this data, capturing the actions of the visitors or viewers to track results, and capturing the end results itself. Very often, a lack of focus on this critical aspect of the content journey results in a measured ROI that is far less than the real return. Utilizing a good framework to generate unmatched customer engaging content and mastering an omni-channel strategy, really to amplify its value, will set you on the right track to content-driven success. Customers get to know about brands through their content. From the content on a brand's website to the content on the company's LinkedIn profile, it tells a story of what the business is like and what it stands for. With a multi-channel and omni-channel approach to content marketing, our aim is to make sure that customers have the same experience across touchpoints. That means that the messaging on the website should match the tone and the style of the blog posts, social media posts, and even in emails. We want to be predictable wherever they come across with us. Another way to perceive content marketing is to imagine it to be a relay race. The first piece of content that a person looks at informs their next decision. The second piece of content is usually comparison-based. And if the consumer likes one product over the other product after their evaluation, then they'll research more on that product. The third stage is the transaction. Each piece of content is important as it eventually leads the person to make an informed decision on their purchase. The fourth stage is repeat purchases. It's important to continuously create content that engages and encourages repeat purchases. As marketers, our goal is really to make different platforms work together, to make the buyer's journey as smooth as possible, and to maintain a consistent brand voice throughout. Omni-channel content strategy means establishing brand presence both online and offline, but still being cohesive and seamless throughout every touchpoint. This is a planned and deliberate effort. Omni-channel marketing is a consumer-centric approach, the goal of which is to deliver a seamless customer experience across different channels or platforms, both online as well as offline. It is about making different platforms work together to make the buyer's journey as smooth as possible. This should not be confused with multi-channel marketing, where, if you remember, the way you communicate and engage with your customers differs for each marketing channel. The importance of an omni-channel experience is that customers remember how they feel after encountering a brand at various connected touchpoints. Regardless of time, place, channel, or number of engagements, the whole of their experience with the brand leaves them with a positive, memorable impression. This feeling is important because it is exactly what compels customers to take action, purchase a product, or even tell their friends about it. This marks the end of this lecture. Thank you.
University of South Asia. For more details, www.usa.edu